to pray. There's no angels where I go, only pieces that are broken, scattered dreams across the floor. I'm home.
Alrighty, hello everybody, this is Kirusho here, and I just got done with what I needed to do, so I'll be able to record once again. Now, let us continue. Whenever we last left off, Deku had been a bit of a problem. He was just told by his dad that he needs to hunt down somebody. And in fact, the target is going to be very challenging. Along with that, the target is quite aware that Deku is hunting him down. So, that makes this even harder. Along with the fact that the man's quirk enough is making this more and more challenging. So Deku not only has to find a way to take down his targets, but he also needs to find a way to make sure to incapacitate him. Or even just see them, in fact. Since he was given enough information on the target to know his quirk, and how it works. Although the problem is going to be seeing it in action. He's wondering if his quirk will be enough. And the target's got to know his quirk then. Now, with that being said, Deku, he would just be doing one thing. Deciding to head out and look around. If he's going to be attacking this target or trying to find this target, then he needs to think about more quirks. He wants to face off against him, but he's not really sure what to do. If he goes to get more quirks right now, he would have a bit of a hard time waiting for, well, his body to get accustomed to them and trying to use them directly off the bat. So, he needs to be more and more careful. Now, Deku is walking down the street, and in fact, he is beginning to think more about this, trying to use his intelligence quirk. Now, at this point, Deku has 16 quirks, including his stockpile 1 and the creation 1, which he is still going to get. Now, with that being said, that basically means 15, but anyways. Deku, he is leaving. Deciding to turn down an alleyway and try and, well, think about this more. He also does want to get to higher ground. And at least, well, find this out. He can look around the city and actually try and at least calm down or wait for nightfall. The target will probably appear around then. Even then, he just has to hunt this guy down, right? Now, as Deku is basically floating upwards, there would be a bit of a problem. 1 second, he feels fine. The next, he feels sharp pain in his side. As he goes slamming into the wall, confused, trying to look around and get his bearings. He doesn't see anyone. In fact, he's not really sure what that was. Before remembering his target, proceeding to go higher upwards into the air. To which, before he can even do anything, he could have been hit once again. His body actually hurting at this point, feeling 8 consecutive punches, or, well, jackhammers to the gut, basically. As he does actually use his ring and harden his body, up to the point of steel. Although that did not matter. Whenever he gets ready or tries to release guard, the next punches were surprising to him. He felt one in his face, his nose, and more around his body. 1 second he's fine. 5 seconds later, when he tries to figure this out, he just gets hit once more, and in fact sent flying. Him being thrown around and thrown through different places. Along with the fact that whenever he finally does see his target, he does try and use his quirk. All for one, not working. Realizing that he has not seen the target's quirk. Even though he's heard about it, he has not seen it in action. So he needs to find a way to keep his eyes on the target whenever he is moving. Now, that is the problem, however. Keeping an eye on a moving target is hard, especially when that target can go at light speed. So, this is whenever Deku, he would just watch him. And he has his body hardened, along with using illusions. Trying to at least make sure this will be okay. Analyzing the target to find his name. Number 6. Quirk. Clockwork. Super strength. And an explosive quirk. Deku confused. He only has one quirk, but he has 3. Now, before Deku can even react, this is whenever he would have gotten sent flying, with a loud amount of explosions going off. Number 6 has sent Deku flying by simply just throwing 7 consecutive punches and then blasting him away with this explosive bomber arm, or the explosive bomber's quirk. The quirk seems to be a bit weird. It's self-detonation, but that force behind it was not enough to kill him. So, clearly he has some weird control over it. As he actually does look up, finding that he is not, well, in the alley anymore. In fact, he got flung across the street into a building. And the illusions hiding his face are working at least. Everyone basically seeing Deku as something with sharp teeth, his eyes being a different color, and his nose at least being pointy, along with ears that stick up. Imagine like a gargoyle. Since his body is made of steel, though, it does look a bit odd. The people running and screaming, villain. Deku knowing what that means. Heroes will come by soon, so this is going to be getting tricky. As he does feel this force in his hands, or force in his body once again. He is being flung around and messed with like a rag doll. Along with that, he would have internal bleeding if it wasn't for his regeneration. As something would happen, Deku would finally be able to see number 6. Number 6 basically just doing one thing. Being able to grab Midori and smash him across the face. Deku trying to use telekinesis. As soon as he does bring his hand up, number 6 would have disappeared, appearing right behind Deku as he smashes him in the back of the neck, sending him flying with super strength. Deku and him basically getting into a bit of a match. Number 6 doing one thing whenever Deku does see him, and at least get him to slow down. He tells number 6 to stop doing that. That is getting annoying. But I have you now. Deku beginning to use both of the super strength quirks mixed together. As one. Thinking that he has number 6, and he'll just take this super strength quirk. Number 6 doing one thing. Smashing him upwards in the face with one of his elbows. Dead center right between the eyes. Deku basically almost immediately falling backwards. Number 6 wrapping something around Deku's face, or at least smashing him in the face with something else. Something sticky, he's not sure what it is. It is adhesive. And Deku's spider senses won't stop blaring in his head. Not sure what's going on. Being flung around and thrown around like nothing. Until eventually, he would have been tossed to another building. And this steel that he's made out of, eventually just, well, wearing down. Deku turning it off as number 6 sends him flying with another explosive super strength punch. Him being sent through 2 buildings, and Hero is actually watching him. He is on the defensive, and he still does have this illusion covering his face. Hero is watching, he just has his hands up, them telling him to stop. Deku immediately looking at them, and bringing his hand up. Before any of the heroes can say anything, Deku gets sent flying once more. The hero is confused. Deku just got sent up high in the air along with the sound happening. Deku basically got punched upwards and then he got socked away once again. Now, after Deku becomes the world's largest ping pong ball for about a couple minutes, eventually the fight would have been over. After number 6 knocks out Deku. But he would have told him one thing before he does so. You are the successor to All for One. That is quite, well, disappointing then. I thought that you could defeat me, but I see that I was wrong. So, you can't even touch me. The worst part is, I would have given up my quirk if you actually beat me. But as soon as you used telekinesis, I decided to fight a bit, well, unfairly. I would apologize, but, well, I've trained with this quirk for far too long, and a cheap trick like that to win isn't gonna work. So, listen here. Next time you come after me, just know, I won't hold back anymore. And another thing, if I win that time, then our next rematch will be a lot less fun. Because I'll be taking the ones closer to you. Deku confused. Number 6 whispering in Deku's ear, Sayako, Ayama, and listing off more people, closer to Deku. Along with the last name that he whispers being one Deku hasn't heard in years, let alone thought about. Inko. Before he was smashed across the face. And number 6 is leaving. Now, Deku is left on the ground, unconscious, as Shigaraki would walk through one of Kirigu's portals, grabbing Deku and pulling him through. The heroes finding the alleyway empty, meaning that they just lost a villain, or, well, a victim. They're not too sure. Many of the heroes report seeing this man just getting sent flying with no force. So, an out-of-control quirk, maybe? The man was made out of steel, though, so that does not make sense. Now, with that being said, heroes would have filed this report, since they're not really sure what to do, along with trying to investigate it. Tetsu getting caught up in it, since, well, steel and all. Now, with that being said, eventually, hours later, Deku would wake back up, and be a bit confused at where he is, before getting up and being a bit wobbly about it. All for one just telling Midoriya, after he comes out of his room, that things were a bit, well, off with that fight. He didn't realize that the guy was a lot stronger than he remembers. His mastery over the quirk seems to have gotten greater since he first had it. Deku's still confused, and at least wondering what his dad is talking about. All for one stating that whenever that boy first got overclock, he had trouble using it, but eventually, after time and gaining more mastery of it, he was able to take the quirk to higher proportions than its previous owner, doubling his punch record. Deku was just at least trying to think. That explains that, but what about his super strength? All for one confused. Deku saying that he analyzed his quirk, and it didn't make sense. Although, he's guessing this is part of the test, right? You gave him super strength and, well, that's about it. He already had 2 quirks. All for one actually just saying that the young boy isn't supposed to have super strength. Even if he does, he didn't give it to him. All for one just thinking about that. The villain factory is doing something, so he needs to talk to the doctor, and see exactly what is going on. He is in charge of this test, along with 9. 9 currently having 7 of his quirks. And Deku, at least, while thinking about this, sitting back down on his bed and beginning to think. He just got his ass handed to him on a silver platter. Even then, the guy he could barely even see, let alone keep up with. His spider senses didn't work either. Fuck. So I need to think about this then. I might have to... Wait a minute. Deku just remembering the rest of the conversation. The guy is going to be going after Aiyama, Sayako, and Inko. Deku immediately just freaking out, realizing exactly what is at stake here, and beginning to get a little more pissed off. He needs to protect his mom. Deku basically running out of his room, and trying to find his dad, telling him exactly what is going on. As soon as he says that, All for One would have looked directly at the doctor. The doctor, confused about what's going on. He is not supposed to go after her. In fact, he is not supposed to go after anyone besides Midoriya. All for One is saying that it seems like your project has failed, Doctor. Your little test is beginning to get more and more serious. So, I do believe that means, as All for One just putting his hand up, saying that if that woman is hurt, or even killed, I will take away that quirk I have given you, and you will be the subject to your own little test for the Nomu. The doctor immediately just, scared, and realizing that things are not supposed to be this way. In fact, 9 is also jointed with this project, so things are supposed to be a bit odd. Now, with that being said, All for One would just state that things aren't supposed to be this way. 9 is regulating the test, yes, but he has given the number 6 another quirk. So that means that he wants the boy to actually fight. Shit. Well, as long as he does keep it to a minimum, I do believe that things will be easier. And this ability will be able, this new ability should be over with soon. Then again, the self-explosion quirk. That requires a massive amount of energy and stamina. So, as All for One begins to think, Midoriya is going to need to find more quirks. And in fact, since he was considered himself to be too slow, he will be giving Midoriya some items. Things that he believes will at least work. And be a lot better. Now, with that being said, this is what would happen. He begins to look around for some quirks. Deku actually leaving the place and deciding to go to that bar that he was kidnapped from. Tomura is with him, and he actually does at least bring some more people, along with Gigantomachi, since what happened last time is not going to happen again. The bartender seeing Tomura, and, remembering the incident a couple years ago, along with seeing the boy and this giant man. Him realizing exactly what that means. The bartender wanted to say for everyone to clear out, but before that can even happen, Tomura just brought his hand up, saying that that will be all. They are not here to cause trouble, like their boss did. Everyone's somewhat just staring at these two, along with this giant man. Is he going to be the one in the cage? Ooh, they know who they're going to bet him. They know exactly who would beat that guy. People are actually beginning to talk about who's going to place bets on who, along with Deku actually seeing the current fight, walking over to the bartender to ask him a bit of information. The bartender, confused and well, at least seeing this boy again. Last time he saw him, he had a shy look on his face, but now he has a more serious one. Along with that, he does at least seem to be a bit, a bit more scared than before about being here. Deku actually asking two questions. Who is currently fighting? And was that crazy motherfucker from last time here again? Or anyone like him? The bartender answering that they have a guy here fighting, yes. The one in the ring, he has a different quirk. While the other one in the ring, he has a double arms quirk. So, well, things are going to be a bit tricky. The match is about to begin, and to answer your other question, man, the bartender actually somewhat getting scared, saying that he is sorry for what happened last time. He heard about it, and he's at least been trying to keep a log on it himself. So far, he's seen a couple people who seem suspicious, but they're not really answering questions, or asking any either. Usually, there's a person here every couple of days. You actually just missed him. But here's a description of him. Deku the man sliding the paper over to Deku, saying that he was looking for you. And in fact, he does believe that this man might know something about you. He actually did say a name. He said all for one. Exactly what is that? My boss. The man's eyes widening. That means that the rumor is true. Holy shit. Now, with that being said, Deku would watch this match unfold, and seeing exactly what is going on. The man with double arms is fighting, and getting ready, as the other man does do one thing. Now, Deku watching as the guy, he would have done one thing when they got in the ring. He would have just brought his hands up, saying that, well, this will be a lot easier and a lot funner. As you watch him just wrap his hands and put something over his eyes. A pair of glasses. That is a stupid idea. He's gonna get punched in the face. Now, with that being said, the man would just do one thing. As the man with 8 arms lunges forward, the man doing the same and beginning to dodge. The man is somehow able to maintain focus, being able to dodge and actually block some of the man's arms. Anytime two come at him, the man would just dodge them and pull them together into one part, basically holding two under his arm as he's able to sock him into the face, or sock the other man in the chest. Deku actually being intrigued and surprised about this, along with actually watching as Midoriya would use his info quirk to check the man's. The man, he has a quirk called multitask, and in fact, it is quite odd. Now, Kevin, your quirk has been picked. Now, with that being said, let us continue. Deku is watching this match, as the man with 8 arms is, basically being overtaken. This man's quirk is weird, and actually useful in this situation, since he's able to keep track of his opponent's movements, and react directly before they happen. So clearly he has mastered his quirk. And actually being a bit surprising. Tomura just staring at Deku, asking him if that's the one he's going to pick. Deku just saying, yes, yes it is. But he's just trying to think. Should he kill, or should he bet for it? Tomura a bit confused. Deku just saying that there are people after him, but he has Gigantomachia. And there apparently is a rumor about Dad. So, if I bet the man's quirk against him, and I beat him and take it, then exactly what does that mean? Tomura looking at Deku confused. Deku just saying that that means that I can get people to try and find me, or at least to try and look out for me. Then I can find them and take their quirks. Think about it. Tomura actually a bit surprised. Deku wants to make himself a target. Number 6 is after me, Tomura. Not just that, he threatened to go after my mother. This is getting more and more serious. Tomura watching as Deku's whole shake has gone away, and his hand is completely steady. So, the boy is, well, surprising. A resistant bastard, isn't he? Tomura is just telling Deku that if he's going to do that, then make sure Giganta is ready to defend you. As Deku would just nod, telling Tomura that he needs to step in the ring sometime then. Or at least pick up some weights and get some chopstick. Tomura just giving Deku the finger, saying that he'll do so some other time. Now, with that being said, Deku, he would walk into the ring, as the other man hits the ground. Now, Deku has walked into the ring, and he is getting ready to make his announcements. Now, I do hope you guys enjoyed this video and have an amazing day. I will catch you guys in the next part.